So we are starting off part 2 to Sunset Invasion with a bang, quite literally, as someone, I'm guessing either Italy or Germany, nuked the thinly held Allied Provence for really no reason, I don't think. And finally, in the year 1946, my grand plan has all come together. I'm going to begin my invasion of the British Isles, and we shall take our first required city with the most epic naval invasion you have ever seen. Our first group of troops to landing in the west coast of Scotland, are actually landing unopposed. And I don't really know where the British Army is. They're not even in any of these border regions, so I'm just gonna start advancing, I guess, since the British Army doesn't seem to want to defend its own land. Okay, but like why though? Why? What strategic value, Italy or Germany, whichever one of you is doing all this, why? Why are you nuking the most random places in the world? So my second army landing down near Liverpool was successful in its landing, but may have gotten a bit overzealous with its advancing. So I guess they kind of got cut off from the port and all the supplies, which means they're now surrounded and running out of supplies. So I need my army from Scotland come down to rescue them before they all die. So I did manage to now connect the two armies and save the Liverpool army from complete destruction. However, wherever the British army was when I started landing, they're here now. And so I need my third army, which is supposed to land down in Cornwall, to hurry up, because these two armies up here are having a bit of trouble moving forward. Alright, I now take back what I said about having trouble advancing, as we are having no problem advancing now. My Cornish army hasn't even landed. They're in the process. They're actually losing. Anyways, yeah, they're down there, you can see. And, well, war's going good, at least. So the Cornish have finally landed, and, well, they're at least distracting and drawing a few divisions away. Though they're a bit late, and it was pretty much inevitable at this point. But hey, you know, they're trying their best out there. You can't fault them for that. My troops have won the Battle of London. They just took it. London has fallen, and the war is now over. On to the peace deal for the Allies. We got our objective, but in spite of what I may take here, there's still a lot of work to be done. So here's the world now after the Allies have lost. Me and Japan basically split the US east and west. They got all of Canada though. I got all of the UK. And Italy went in on Africa, man. I'm telling you. And of course the Germans, they need their Lebensraum. Those crazy Germans. They took all of the Soviet Union. So I suppose with that we'll probably have to build up a whole lot of troops and industry and all that fun stuff to be able to take them down. Oh, Japan, what the fuck is wrong with you? We weren't ready yet! I'm terribly sorry for that outburst. However, I do think it was justified, as here's the situation now that we have. Japan has declared war on the third Guangxi clique, who became Germany's puppet after the end of the Allied War. And so that means Japan is now at war with the whole Axis. So even though I was definitely going to do this eventually, it's now become far more urgent, as I will probably have to come save the Japanese from their utter doom once again. Okay, so I kind of thought about it some more, and then I figured, well, why not just not join the Japanese and let them take the punishment for their own stupidity, and instead, I'm just going to plan this massive naval invasion of Spain, because we're going to have to take Madrid and then even Lisbon later. So I may as well do that, since, you know, that would be much easier. First Army has made landfall in northern Spain, and we're just going to use the same strategy we used against the British. Just spread out as much as possible and kind of blitz the whole country and take them over before they even know what happened. Much like the British, we have not encountered a whole lot of resistance in our initial invasion, and we have already occupied the entire northwestern corner of Spain. But I assume that the resistance will start to grow much stronger, which is why I have another army heading for the southern coast, so we can get a nice envelopment maneuver going. You know that feeling of smug satisfaction you get when a plan goes perfectly how you meant it to? I'm feeling a lot of that right now. It's been centuries in the making, but after all of this time, Mexico finally gets its revenge on Spain. And oh, how deserving it was. Jose, I told you last part, amigo. This is what you get, ese? Right, so 2 down, and 4 to go. I mean, the Japanese, they're not dead yet, plus they're on an island, so I figure they'll be fine for at least a while longer, and since I'm already here, may as well get Lisbon first, right? After a brief invasion of Portugal, I now have some 100-odd divisions, all storming into the streets of Lisbon, and the Portuguese defenders are just frankly quite overwhelmed, and there is our 3rd objective complete. And to get the final 3 cities in order for our EU4 achievement, I have concocted the most brilliant plan in mankind history. I have 5 armies now, one of which will land down here next to Rome and be able to take that city quite easily. Another of which will land right next to Amsterdam over here. Then, I shall have 2 armies invade the northern part of France together because Paris is a bit further inland. Then, to conquer, or rather to defend Madrid, I have an army in the Pyrenees, and then over here I have SRAF armies placed variously around in order to protect places I deem important, let's say. So, should we get to it? The Japanese are struggling over in East Asia. Let's not delay any longer. Let's get our grand plan underway. Before we can begin our trek through the Mediterranean, we will need to take over Gibraltar here in order to control the Pillars of Hercules. That way supplies can flow through and help support our troops in Italy. So let's get our northern invasion started first and work towards Paris and Amsterdam. Alright, we have landed, and now our main objective, just run to Paris. Troops next to Amsterdam have landed. That'll be easy, just walk on over, and that objective will be complete. SRAF and the Italian army have taken over Gibraltar, so we'll send the remaining SRAF troops up to help defend the Pyrenees, who are actually doing quite well defending from the massive amount of Axis troops there. We have taken over, not quite actually, we're still marching towards Amsterdam. Come on, you lazy assholes, get there. Same thing with Paris, we're right on the border. It will soon fall into our hands though, as we've encountered almost no resistance so far. Alright, Paris is under our control, and Amsterdam is now under our control as well, but I may have made a fatal mistake in that the port was actually in Rotterdam, not the one right next to Amsterdam, so I'm gonna have to make an attack here. But everyone else in Paris, well, their job is just to defend for their dear lives. But now we can get our Roman invasion underway since we can have supplies flowing from the Atlantic into the Mediterranean, and onwards to Italy. Alright, troops landing next to Rome in the port. Let's get on over to Rome. There's only 1 unit defending it. It's out of the way. We're marching on to Rome. We have captured it. And with that, the objectives are all complete. Oh, I know what you're gonna say, but you don't own them. I occupy them, though. And for me, that is good enough. Loopholes are my specialty, okay? Thank you for joining me in this Mexican mania. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing this video to all of you. I hope each and every one of you has a great day. Thanks for watching.